I just want to give you the opportunity to get a little bit more review with these CER, GER, and YER verbs. Before we do that, I just want to go over our endings for ER verbs when you're conjugating something. So if we were to take the verb, let's say jouer, and we want to conjugate it, don't forget our endings are E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, and ENT. So you cut off your ER, you're left with your stem or your root, JOU, and then you apply your endings. For je, it is E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT, and of course these include the feminine. I just didn't write them out, okay? And you can remember this by the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm. EESEONS, EZENT, okay? EESEONS, EZENT. Super simple. You're going to apply these same endings to your CER, GER, and YER verbs. Okay, let's take a look at why we need to do CER, GER, and YER verbs differently. In order to get the soft C sound in French, C has to be followed by either an I or an E. I don't know why that's capitalizing, but it has to be followed by either an I or an E to make S sound, okay? So if it is followed by an A, if C is followed by an A, if it is followed by an O, or if it is followed by a U, it's going to make a hard sound. It's going to make ka, ko, ku, whereas if it's followed by an E or an I or an E, it's going to make si and s. It's going to make S sound, okay? So this becomes a problem when we're trying to conjugate a verb and we hit the new form. For example, I'm going to show you a new word. Effacer means to erase. J'efface, no problem. Tu effaces. Il or elle efface. Nous effaçons. Uh-oh. If I do this, look at my rule. I would have to say this, nous effaçons. But that's not what I want because the verb is effacer. J'efface, tu effaces, il efface, nous effaçons. That's a problem. So the French have fixed this by, ta-da! Remember our c'est-dire, it makes soft S sound. Nous effaçons, and you carry on. Vous effacez, il or elle efface, which again means to erase. I erase, you erase, he erases, we erase, y'all erase, and they erase, plural. Okay, so in order to keep my soft S sound, I've got to use the c'est-dire. Another one would be the verb prononcer, which means to pronounce. Okay, in French, if I want to conjugate this, it would be je prononce, tu prononces. Don't forget, I'm just taking off my ER. I'm adding my endings. EES, EONS, EZENT, il prononce, nous prononçons. Whoops, right? This would actually be said, nous prononçons. So I fix this. Option C is how you do it on a Mac. Vous prononcez, and il prononce. Okay? Tu prononces le R très bien en français. You pronounce the R sound really well in French. Il ne prononce pas bien le R en français. He does not pronounce the R very well in French. And so on, okay? So for your CER verbs, you need to add the c'est-dire on the new form. Let's take a look at YER verbs. Nope, sorry. Let's take a look at GER verbs first. We have the same exact copy. We have the same exact rule. G, when followed by, I'm just going to do this so you can see that it's exactly the same. Soft G sound can be made by either having an I after the G or having an E after the G. If you have an A or an O or a U, whoops, good thing y'all are patient. It's going to make a hard G sound, ga, go, gu, versus J, je. Okay, so you have to be followed by an I or an E. Ooh, I forgot to mention up here, of course, in French, the other way to make soft C sound is with a cécédia. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's check out the verb plonger. That's a fun verb. It means to dive. To dive. Je plonge. Remember, I take my ER, cut it off, and I add my endings. Tu plonge. Il or elle plonge. Nous plongeons. That's what I want to say, but this currently says nous plongeons. So for GER verbs, I'm going to keep my E in order to make that j sound. Nous plongeons. Vous plongez. Il plonge. They dive. Okay? I dive, you dive, he dives, and so on. So for GER verbs, in order to get my soft G sound, I need to have an E after the G. Okay, so I add an E there. We could do the same with changer, which means to change. I'm going to skip a few and just go straight to nous, we change, nous changeons. Okay, I've cut off my ER, I've cut off my ER, and I add my ONS, and I need to go back in and keep my E in there for the new form. Normally, with an ER verb, you wouldn't do that, okay? Normally, you don't have that E in there. So these are kind of different ER verbs. That's why we need to learn them differently. Okay, let's take a look at a YER verb. With a YER verb, you need to maintain the Y with nous and vous. Okay, and you are going to replace the Y with an I for all the others. Let me show you an example. The verb envoyer means to send, okay? J'envoie. What I've done here is I've cut off my YER and I've replaced it with IE. J'envoie. Tu envoies. Il envoie. But with nous envoyons, I'm going to keep my Y. Nous envoyons. And the reason for this is because here the Y acts as a consonant. It breaks up my two O's that are sandwiching it. Nous envoyons. It makes a y, it makes a consonant for us in French. Vous, same thing with this one. Vous envoyez. I need a consonant there to break up my O and my E. Vous envoyez. When we get to here again, ils envoient, we're back to replacing all others with an I, okay? J'envoie, tu envoies, il envoie. Nous envoyons, vous envoyez, ils envoient, which means again to send. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, you can ask me anytime.